Hi, everybody. How you doing? This is Tracing Roots, Telling Tales Tuesdays, Genealogy with Donna, episode 73, What Has Never Been Written Down. So, you're missing stories, reading between the lines. Records capture facts, but not feelings. They tell us when people were born and when they died, and rarely how they felt. Important moments often went undocumented. Acts of kindness, sacrifice, heartbreak, and courage may never have appeared in official records. Historical context helps fill in the gaps. You understand local events, and that then helps us imagine what the ancestors experienced. We were talking about it yesterday, Mike and I, as we were driving down the hill to go to lunch with some friends. And I have a magazine article, not magazine, a newspaper article from 1933 where my great-grandmother Bertha was involved in a car accident. I believe it was even her fault. Nobody was hurt. Everything was good. However, it happened in Riverside. She lived in San Gabriel. And she was driving the car. First of all, I didn't know she drove. Second, how'd she get to Riverside? It got the conversation going about what kind of road maps were there. I mean, you think about it. There were no freeways in Los Angeles in 1933. I believe that the Pasadena freeway was opened. My mom was driving then, so that would have been 1942, 1943. And so it's kind of like, no 210, no 91, no 60, no 10. So how did you get out to Riverside from San Gabriel? You could have taken Valley Boulevard. That goes all the way through. So I expect that's how that happened. How rural was it in 1933? I mean, there's all kinds of questions. Now, it was written down because the newspaper article showed it, but I've never seen a copy of any driver's license that she ever had. Didn't know she drove, but then I was born, she was already, when I was 19, she was already 70, maybe? Yeah, that wouldn't have had anything to do with it. And does anybody keep, when they quit driving, does anybody keep their driver's license in the pictures? But that's what I would do. I'll throw it in with all the pictures that we've got in the picture box so that people have a copy of that and what I look like, on my last driver's license. But yeah, when you think about it, it's like, how did she get out there? Where do I find an old map of what the roads look like? So that's one of the items on my bucket list of things I've got to find out. Anyway, historical context helps fill in the gaps. Knowing, again, local events helps you imagine what they experienced. Family memories matter. Stories passed through generations can preserve details missing from documents. The fact that my cousin knew from talking to his father and my grandfather that my grandfather had worked the summers at a submarine manufacturing facility back in Boston, Massachusetts during World War II. No, I'm sorry, it would be prior to that. It would be during World War I. So I don't have anything. I don't have any. Did they file income taxes back in 1916, 1917? I don't think so. I don't think that started until after 1933. I could be wrong. But again, another thing to put on the bucket list of, you notice how you get questions answered, but then you get more questions from the lack of answers that aren't complete. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, and I would love to look at the tax returns that my grandfather had. I don't know that my uncle kept them. It's probably in that storage container that my cousin won't let me get into because he's too embarrassed that it's just a mess, which I'm not doubting at all that it is. But I'd love to see that kind of stuff. It always tells you, I mean, I've got all of mine. I just kept it from a genealogy standpoint. You know, it shows you my first W-2 filed as somebody that earned an income, and I had filed taxes. You know, I had withholding and I had taxes taken out, so I did get a refund. But if you don't keep them all, then you really don't have something for people to look on to see, oh, here is where you worked here and you made this and your title was this, etc., etc., etc. Addresses, where you moved from, you know, those kind of things. That does help track for the history of an individual. Family, the stories passed down. Now, they could preserve details. They could also manufacture more questions, such as I have on the submarine World War I situation for my grandfather. So, and then Bertha, I got questions about that too. So isn't that interesting? I was thinking in the shower this morning, I do not have a picture of my great grandmother as a young girl. I know that she attended Gorham's Women's College and got a teaching credential, certificate, whatever they were called. But Gorham's closed down or was sold and is something else. I have called them and asked if they had the old records. They do not. So I've lost out on any kind of a yearbook kind of picture or transcript or any history other than knowing that she attended that, and that's from stories other people have. That her son actually put down, so that I knew that. And then genealogy combines evidence and interpretation. You can see from my story today, I have interpreted a few things with the evidence that I have. Is it concrete? No. Is it plausible? Absolutely. Is it possible? Yes. The probability is there, but I don't know it for a fact. So sometimes understanding from connecting many small clues together help you piece out the picture. You know, a jigsaw puzzle is many, many, many pieces to make that picture. And so you've got to put the pieces together to get the complete picture. You start getting an idea of what things were, you know, what things were happening, but you don't have the complete picture until you have as many of the pieces together as possible. Anyway, that's my episode 73 for today. I hope that you gleaned some information. Again, if you ever need any help with your family tree or getting it started, let me know. I can at least point you in the right direction if I can't help you begin at the beginning. Take care. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week.